This week on Coffin Fodder, check your pulse and look out for creepy neighbors, because we are talking about Carnival of Souls.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
I like to dissect girls.
This is God.
We have such sights to show you.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I see dead red.
Even in hell. Oh, yes. Oh, no tears, please.
They're here.
Here's Johnny.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Coffin Fodder. I am your host, Mike Werby, and joining me is the waterlogged ghoul, Kyle Mickleborough.
That's me.
And the murderous drag racer, Brady Silger.
Hello.
That's what you say as the helpless women plunge into the river.
Yep.
And you're like,
Women can't drive.
oh, it wasn't my fault. Oh, what's going on? That excuse would actually work in the 60s.
I was going to say, it actually sounds on point.
And today, on that very note, we are talking the 1962 classic horror film, Carnival of Souls, directed by Herk Harvey. Herk Harvey also, by the way, plays the main ghoul, who she sees in the dream.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's credited as the man.
Okay, the guy that follows her throughout.
Yeah, he's the main ghoul. That's
Okay.
Herk Harvey, the director.
Hey, Herk.
Yeah. So, Carnival of Souls is a film about a woman who manages to narrowly survive what seems to be a fatal accident, and then is plagued by visions of ghosts and things. Her friends perished in the accident.
Yeah.
She miraculously survives, and then it starts to be plagued by these visions and ghosts and ghouls and so on. And that's basically the movie.
Yeah.
So
It really is.
Which, yeah, I mean, there's
That's
really
not a bad thing.
I mean, no, there's really not that much to it. It's
No.
mostly just that for the entire runtime,
You
and it
could-
just slowly escalates.
Yeah, you could sum it up in probably about 5 sentences, which is about what
Yeah.
you did, I suppose. And
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing. That's not to discredit it either.
Yeah, definitely a classic, and in the Criterion Collection. Yes, so Carnival of Souls. So yeah, the movie starts. I mean, we already basically covered the start. Well, I guess we should add a little bit of, because the first. Did you guys agree that like the first 10 minutes of this movie is like really bad?
Okay, so we kind of talked about this when we were there up the other night. I felt like it was more like the first 30 minutes that were kind of really bad and dragged on.
I feel like the first 10 minutes of the movie are really...
It is obnoxious.
Stilted. Really
Yes.
stilted, and very, like, not... Like, particularly... So, like, right at the start of the movie, Mary and her friends are driving around, and some guys roll up next to them and are like, let's have a race or whatever. And then they race a little bit, and the racing looks really cheesy, and it looks like especially cheesy on the bridge, because they're driving so slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like you're supposed to be racing,
Yeah.
but I guess the camera has to be able to keep up.
And that's it. It's just the time,
Just technical
right?
limitations from
Yeah.
the time. Like nowadays, you can film us
Right, they couldn't.
speeding chase, but in that time period, especially a movie
Right.
like a low budget movie, you couldn't make a movie like that or make a scene like that in a movie like
Yeah.
that. So they just have them driving painfully slow, and they don't even want to damage the vehicles because it's like
the whole budget,
it's a low
right?
budget
Yeah.
movie. So one of the cars kind of barely
Yeah.
knocks the other one.
So that was the first thing that I was like, what the fuck is going on in this?
That's why I warned
Because
you.
I didn't put one and one together. Like, it's obvious in retrospect why it looked like that, but at the time as I'm watching, I'm like, Mike, what the fuck?
That's why I said. That's
Yeah.
why I always warn people
Yeah.
before I recommend this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, just get through like the first 10 minutes, because the first 10 minutes is almost unwatchable.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. And I get it. So I judged it very heavily in those first 10 minutes. It kind of probably is why I felt like the first 30 was so slow, because it kind of put me off. I think then as I started to come back and watch as things were, taking a bit more shape, there was a little more interaction between the actors, I started to see the story flesh out a bit more.
Yeah.
And then I was actually intrigued and interested in where it was going.
The thing, for me, the movie begins, like, the movie starts to actually be the movie when she walks out of the river. that's where the movie starts for me.
I would agree.
Because everything before that is just cheesy, melodramatic.
That's it.
Low budget. It just doesn't really work that well. But I think by the end, it kind of comes into something that made it worth watching. So,
even just as you're saying that, I just had the thought of, we've criticized movies and how slow their openings are. In particular, we just talked about Critters and Gremlins, both having maybe the 30 to 40 minutes just being... So this one's about 10 minutes of that boring setup?
In my opinion.
Yeah, right. So it's only about 10 minutes, but then it's interesting to know that this is 1960s, so it's very much a progenitor, and then furthermore, it's short runtime of about an hour and 20. If you were to expand that to today's average runtime of like an hour 45, that 10 minutes would be stretched out to something closer to that, almost 30 minute average.
You'd be watching her at work and meeting her friends who are about to die, and
it's the
these
same
other things,
shit,
which might not even necessarily make the movie worse. Depends on who's doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What made me laugh really when like she was coming out of the water just covered in mud, and like they're all like helping, but they don't really care.
Yeah,
just like all your friends are dead. Yeah. And we're gonna hold you out of the arms gently and walk you down the path to get you to safety. And then it goes from, I'm not even in the hospital, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why it made me laugh for some reason. I was margarita drunk last night, so it might have been
was the margaritas.
Yeah. Was the margaritas, but
so I agree, except having watched through to the end, when you get to the end, these things start to have a little more reason behind them, I would say.
Having since I knew the twist going in,
right?
I noticed that right away after, without any explanation, she gets into her car, which is just parked at the river, I guess, and drives away. And that's not explained at all. Why would she have parked her car there?
Yeah.
If they were out on the town drag racing or whatever they're doing, why would she have parked her car at the river? It doesn't really, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So I think that's your first clue of inevitably where this is going. But on the first watch, that didn't even register to me.
Yeah,
I just, you're just watching a progression of scenes. Oh, she's alive. Oh, now she's getting in her car and she's leaving.
And so before the mic went on, that's what we were just talking about is, I wanted to watch it a second time because I don't think I fully appreciated it the first. And even though we've all seen twist movies where, now I gotta go back and watch it again, this one's from 1962, maybe among some of the first of these kinds of what a twists, these M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Truly.
It did actually make me want to go back and watch it a second time because as soon as I got to that twist being revealed, which, spoilers, there's a twist, I was thinking back quickly on some of the other scenes of this movie that I thought, what the fuck? Why? What? And then I realized, it wasn't just a stupid fucking movie doing stupid movie shit.
Yeah.
There was some thought put into this.
And I think the way the twist unfolds at the end is there's been a lot of movies that have done that twist since.
Tons.
I think this is the first movie that did that twist as far as I know.
Right.
And I think it does it better than a lot of the other ones do it.
Totally. And that's again where I came off that movie thinking that movie was really boring. I don't really know why I watched it. and then like with other movies, it was like the next day when it hit me more, and I was like, this movie stuck with me even into the next day, the second day, the third day. I was like, that was a really well crafted film.
That's
from the 1960s, and like you said, it did the twist maybe first. You think first, it's somewhere in there, but you're right. It did it better than most of them are done today.
Long before any of the ones most people would think of.
Absolutely.
Because there's a few movies, we can mention them later.
Yeah.
There's a few movies that have done that twist since, notably. But I think this is like 30, 40 years before any of those movies.
And that's the thing. Is there's some really good twist movies, and I think this would stand ground firmly with them.
Yeah.
And then you factor in that difference of time, and you gotta wonder if this is kind of really shit stomping these other guys.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So back to the basic plot of the movie. So Mary gets out of the river, drives away, and then she basically very quickly decides she's moving. to kind of get away from the memories of that horrible day, I guess, is kind of the impetus.
Yeah.
She doesn't say specific. I don't think she says that specifically, but I think that's the suggestion, is like her friends died and she had this horrible experience, and she doesn't want to be in this place anymore where this horrible thing happened.
Because she drives to it.
She decides to move to Salt Lake City, and that's where most of the movie takes place. It's in Salt Lake City. And notably, she passes a creepy carnival on the way. One might even say a Carnival of Souls.
Ooh, that's the movie.
Yeah.
That's the name of the movie.
I mean, like, they didn't literally do the thing where they're like, you could. It's almost like we're a kind of Suicide Squad.
Stuck in the Carnival of Souls.
The Suicide Squad is
worst.
one of the worst ones.
So
what are we,
bad.
some kind of Suicide Squad? Boo!
Absolutely. I think because they thought they nailed it, it was delivered with such confidence.
Get off the stage! You suck!
Oh, the worst. But yeah, they did drive by a Carnival of Souls.
Yes. So obviously the carnival will become important later. It is an abandoned fairgrounds, is what it actually is. With sort of a sordid history of its own. It used to be a bathhouse, which usually has like lewd connotations attached to it and things like that. So it has a bit of a sordid history. But she is transfixed by that and notes it and keeps asking people about that area throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mary gets a job in the new town as an organist, and she moves into a boarding house. And the two characters in the boarding house who are important are John, who's her creepy neighbor,
Jesus,
and
fuck,
and Mrs. Thomas, who runs the boarding house.
Yeah, I mean, who is weird enough in her own right.
You can take as many baths as you want.
What a weird.
So weird.
Yeah, it's. I think that's part of just the time period.
Yeah, because nothing comes of it, and there's no reason for it to be a red herring. So it must just be.
Well, I think the only thing I can think of that would make it relevant is a harbinger for the twist again. Like the fact that she keeps saying, "Take as many baths as you want," and then Mary keeps saying, "Yes, I love taking baths. I'll take a bath." Right. You know, one of those baths you keep talking about or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So again, that's the only thing I can think of for that. But I mean, I think a lot of this is just folksy, old school,
I think
1960s talk, right?
That's kind of where I landed on that. But
Yeah.
she is weird, like notably.
Oh yeah.
I for sure thought that was going somewhere, and then it really just didn't. Yeah.
She gets weirder and weirder as the movie progresses.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
She doesn't really get. She's kind of just there to like notice that Mary seems to be going crazy.
She's a facilitator,
and then just kind of say like, "Oh, there's no way that's true," and stuff like that, right? Kind of just somebody to question the sanity of this character, who we're all questioning her sanity, really. Probably just talk about John for
half a second.
Yeah, because I think we had Uncle Les last week on the show. This guy's not quite as bad as Uncle Les, but he's pretty creepy.
I think he's slimier.
Slimier,
Maybe not as aggressive and creepy.
Well, yeah, he doesn't literally try to rape a woman in this film.
Well, debatable.
Yeah, I was gonna debate that
That's pretty
too.
fucking close. But he is a sleazeball. God, he's greasy.
Yeah, he's a real scumbag. So, yeah, he's basically the lecherous alcoholic neighbor. I love, oh my god, it's so funny, him trying to make excuses for him drinking in the morning and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I was dying. It's so funny, man.
The smile on that dude, holy cow, that's something else. The way he looked at her and smiled at her was making my panties twist up.
Just a world-class creep.
Yeah, so bad.
And I think it's interesting, the dichotomy there, that by the end she kind of wants him around, even though she knows he's a creep. But because she's less scared of him than she is of whatever this other thing that's happening is.
Yeah,
These things she's seeing in her room and...
Yeah. Because at least he's the thing that she knows, right?
Yeah, she knows how to handle more or less a creepy dude.
Yeah. She probably had to do it before. It's probably not her first time. Look at her. She's
she's really pretty. So not the first time some creep has come up to her.
Better that than the unknown. The fear of the unknown is always worse.
The organ she plays when, like, That's so fucking... I've always loved organs.
I love pipe organs.
Yeah, me too.
And, like, how she just plays it, and, like, that blew my mind. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell she actually played it. It wasn't just post effects. 'Cause there was no post effects, really, back then.
There's so many, a pipe organ is such an evocative instrument. Especially in, like, a horror film.
Oh, yeah.
In what way?
Because it's so ominous.
Haunting, yeah.
It's so ominous and haunting. Yes, haunting is an even better word.
Yeah.
It just... There's nothing quite like a pipe organ.
No, I completely agree. I just asked, I wanted to hear your opinion, but the music is so pervasive in this film.
Yeah.
It's almost... It deserves a top billing, or whoever did the music deserves top billing next to the actors and actresses.
You gotta get that pipe.
You gotta lay... Yeah, man. They laid some heavy pipe on this one. Laying down tracks.
And I wonder... I don't actually know much about the soundtrack of the film. It could be that she's just playing... old music on the pipe organ.
I don't think
that's a
matters.
great. No, I'm just saying that's a great way to save money on your music budget.
Oh, just playing
for a low budget movie.
Right.
Yeah.
If the movie's already, if the music is already in the public domain, then you don't have to pay anyone.
That's probably the case.
A lot of the music was like Catholic religious like music that you hear in a church.
Okay.
So I'm assuming because that's all public domain.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably
they use that.
I think she's mostly playing hymns, except for that one part in the movie.
Yeah.
But hymns are darker.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
They've got ominous tones.
There's a lot of hymns that are about horrible fucking shit happening.
Especially with
most of them are about Jesus being murdered.
Yeah.
I always wondered where metal music came from.
Really?
That's essentially it's from the Bible.
Yeah, really it is.
Yeah.
So I guess what is the next pivotal thing? I mean, she starts having these visions.
Yeah.
That's probably the thing we really
ghouls.
have to note. She sees visions of a man underwater. This is the main ghoul who plagues her throughout the film. Opening his eyes, she has dreams about him looking at her.
Yep.
She sees him in the mirror when she's looking around her room.
Yeah.
So she keeps seeing this guy. So she's seeing this guy specifically, and then occasionally other snippets of these other ghouls dancing.
Mm-hmm.
She's having visions of the carnival.
Yeah. It gets progressively more haunting-esque as it goes on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more stalking and creeping.
Yeah, she sees him like following her
right,
around
and the
and
visions.
stuff.
Yeah, they get
And nobody else sees him.
right.
Yeah.
And it goes from standing in front of her or near her, around her, to almost a little more over the shoulder. Right behind her, closer in reflections, all those things. Just in that.
Well, and the classic thing is with any movie like this is we're wondering, one, is this real or is she crazy?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same question. Any movie like this, you have that same question throughout. What is happening to her? Is this real or is she going insane?
Right, and this movie plays that line quite well for, again, such an old film.
Well, and we'll discuss this again when we get to the end, but the way the twist unfolds is really interesting because I've never seen another movie quite do it this way.
Okay.
Okay, so we can breeze past a lot of the main plot of the movie because it's just kind of the same thing. It's John being creepy, what's her name? Miss Thomas being homey and kind, and then slowly realizing. I think there's a notable part where she's playing the organ music at the church.
Yes.
And then she starts to have visions of the ghouls dancing at the carnival.
Yeah, and it
and
reflects.
she starts to play this like she kind of like taps into some like weird evil force and starts playing this music that she doesn't even know.
No, it's really ominous stuff, right?
Yeah, it sounds really evil and fucked up. And then the priest comes and says, "Sacrilege, profane!"
Yeah. Get out of the church with this blasphemy.
Yeah, and then he fires her. Profane. That's a word you almost never hear.
No, I wish people used it more.
I love when he yells, "Profane!" Because I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that term before.
No, not
It's like obviously related to profanity, profane, right? But I've never heard that word in my entire life except for in this movie.
For that.
That's probably the most notable. And then, of course, inevitably, she has to... Well, before we get right to the end, we have to talk about how John is so wigged out by her, he doesn't even want to be creepy with her.
No. She gets so wild and crazy that she turns him off.
Yeah, he's like, listen up, you dizzy dame.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for these shenanigans.
There's a line somewhere.
Yeah, so it's funny that there's even a line for a creepy neighbor who keeps trying to feed alcohol to a woman who does not want it and keeps trying to stay in her apartment even though she's telling him to leave.
I spent good money on this beer.
And notably, she goes on a date with him even just to kind of.
I think she's afraid of.
Not because she wants to.
She doesn't want to be alone, right?
Yeah. She would like to. She doesn't know anyone except for him and Mrs. Thomas, so...
Yeah. I guess the priest, too.
Well, the priest, but he's not going out.
You don't know
no. We've seen a priest do some badass shit.
Unfortunately, I don't think this guy kicks ass for anybody, man.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I mean, and with all that basically out of the way, we can, finally just jump to the twist. So the twist in this film is that she has been dead in the river all along.
Bum, bum, bum.
But, and this is what I wanted to mention in regards to this twist and what it does differently than other movies. Because I would think the most notable examples in recent history would be The Sixth Sense.
That's the first one.
And The Others. Those are probably the two biggest ones I can think of that people would know today where the twist is that they were dead all along.
I mean, there's tons.
There's a bunch of... There's Jacob's Ladder, there's Stay.
They're not all notable because it became such a thing that everybody was doing it, right? So most of it was kind of schlock and crap. But The Sixth Sense would be the big one that I think just about everybody has seen and
knows the twist.
Yeah, and knows the twist and would agree that it's a pretty damn good movie.
However... The different thing that Carnival of Souls does is she really was in Salt Lake City. Because the priest and the doctor, I believe, return to... after... Because she mentions that she's going to go there.
Yeah, and
everybody keeps telling her,
right?
Yeah, everybody keeps saying, like, oh, that place is abandoned, it's dangerous, don't go there.
So what did you make of that?
Well, the fact she... At the very least... they interacted with her ghost.
Yeah.
Because her body was in the river.
Yeah, she's undeniably dead.
Yeah.
And she wasn't anywhere. But whatever was left
those guys, all the people she interacted with,
something.
That wasn't all fake in her mind or anything. Because in The Sixth Sense and the others, it's like a misunderstanding. In The Sixth Sense, it's kind of hidden along the plot of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Because nobody else talks to Bruce Willis in that movie except for Cole, the kid who can see ghosts.
Yeah, so if you were to talk perspective, we're seeing it from the ghost perspective as they're interacting in different... like, as if she... And she is indeed popping in and out of reality because she keeps having these spells where no one can see her or hear her, right?
That's it.
So she is in essentially what we would call a... what's the word?
A limbo.
In between. Yeah, limbo. Yeah, there's another word for it.
I really like that shimmer effect that was going on while she was like... she goes to talk to people and it's like, oh, there's that weird shimmer effect for effect was really well done.
Yeah, there's no non-practical effects in the 60s, so it's
I didn't even think of that. Good catch, man. That is kind of cool.
Also, the main ghoul, the director.
Yeah.
I believe I read that the eye makeup that he did, Romero used for the zombies in the first Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, nice! Because that was around that same time period.
Yeah.
Was it 1960 or 67 or?
I think it was 67 or 68 when
Night of the Living Dead.
When Night of the Living Dead came out.
Yeah, late 60s. That tracks. So I mean, I guess the way we find out that she's been dead all along is earlier on in the film we see that the police are trying to dredge the lake to recover the bodies of her friends.
Yeah.
And that's when she comes walking out of the water and seems to have miraculously survived somehow. And at the end of the movie, they finally manage to pull the car from the lake.
Right. And we see her.
And then she's still in it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie.
Right.
But I thought it was worth at least explaining how the movie drops the twist on us. So I guess that's what makes this twist. I mean, because I think, as far as I understand, this is the first movie that did this twist, or the first one I know of at the very least.
I would say so, and you're right. The way they drop the twist is what informs everything before the twist. So I think that's really cool too. Like, because the twist instantly in that moment reveals that everything in the movie that you've been seeing, it gives that explanation immediately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where, for me, you know, I watch these movies at night sometimes, and at the end I kind of just thought, what the fuck, and went to bed, and it was after waking up the next day where I was like, oh, okay, damn, you know, that all actually makes sense when you look at it as if she was a ghost going back and forth in between, you know, living and dead, kind of.
That's always, to me, that's like the hallmark of a movie that I want to rewatch. Is like you said, if I watch a movie and I kind of didn't get it or it didn't vibe with me in maybe the right way, but I keep thinking about it over the next few days or weeks,
100%.
and it keeps popping back into my head,
Yeah.
and that's what makes me rewatch movies.
We've talked about that before with one other very notable movie, not as a horror movie, but Moonlight was it's a, you know, famous, really good movie.
Great movie.
That's one where after the first watch, you know, it didn't really sink in how good it was. It took me a few days of retrospect and thinking back on the experience of watching it when I kind of realized, like, man, that movie was a big fucking film. It's kind of how I felt about this. Once I thought back to what I'd actually seen, it made complete sense to me why it was in the super duper legacy upper class horror film collection. Is that what it was?
That's exactly what
that's
it was.
That's what I thought. It makes sense, and as I googled it and found out that it was held in such high esteem, and people refer to it as one of the best early psychological horrors, it made sense to me. I can totally see that. And I think it deserves whatever praise it gets. And it's got, what, an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes?
And you're in and you're out. You're in and out of there under 90 minutes too.
Man. Yeah. It's a fast movie, but it doesn't feel fast. Like it's not slow. It's not a slow movie, but it's in that middle ground where you feel like, holy shit, I'm already done the movie, but like you're still at the end of the movie. It's like, wow,
you're
how
still
did it go so
the
fast,
movie.
but it's also slow.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I have to get back to the genesis of this movie in my life, because I first found this movie. There was a channel. I know Brady watched Scream TV. Did you watch Scream TV?
Oh yeah, tons. Yep.
Yeah, Scream TV, horror channel in Canada. For those who are not in Canada, it was like this specialty horror channel on like cable that you could get for extra money, whatever. Not super important, but they would show horror movies. That's all they did was show horror movies and thrillers.
Hell yeah.
And midnight porn.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which was,
that's the best channel ever.
Fantastic channel. I loved it. It was what I always watched late at night when there's nothing on. So I'm like, let's see what's on Scream TV.
Yeah.
So I caught the dancing sequence from towards the end of the movie, and I turned it off because it scared the shit out of me. I was like 16, or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had never seen anything like it.
Oh, okay.
And I just turned it on, and I was watching her have these visions, and then all the creepy ghosts dancing. And when he looks over and notices her and starts walking toward her, that's when I just changed the channel. I was like, nope. I was like, I can't handle this right now.
I can see where that's scary, because it's like almost zombies or ghouls like coming after something to try to pull something back.
I think it's because he walks right towards the camera and he's looking at you.
The camera.
He's looking at you.
Fucking right. Yeah.
He's looking at you, doll.
Yeah, there was just something.
It's a good stare.
Deeply unsettling about that scene, and the way they kind of speed up. They're speeding up.
Uh-huh.
They're speeding up and slowing down the film.
It's a dope scene, man.
To make it seem like very unreal.
Faster and slower and faster and slower.
Yeah. So there's just something. There's just something
very ethereal.
Yeah, ethereal is a great word for it. It's just there's something very, very unsettling about it. And I just that was one of the only times watching a movie in my life where I was just like, I can't even handle this.
That's fair. And then even in that same line, never mind being if you were watching this as a person in 1962, this would have been fucking scary as shit. This would give you permanent brain damage, right?
Well, because there were so few great horror films.
Yeah.
From like you have some early examples of great horror movies. Freaks, which will probably be a future episode, is a great horror movie from the 30s.
Okay.
You got your Draculas, your Frankensteins, your Wolfman, Black Lagoon, all
the
these different.
staples.
Yeah,
the
Universal movies were more for like everyone to watch. They weren't scary. They were more like an action movie with monsters.
Yeah, they were scary for like little kids. Would be
For
like,
sure.
yeah, but I don't think grown-ups would watch Dracula or Frankenstein. They'd be like, ooh,
Yeah.
you know.
That's blasphemy.
Yes.
But then to carry that even further, like you said, you were 16 watching this and thinking it was horrifying. I think if I had watched it, as a younger kid or like in early teens, you would have found it equally as horrifying. Like
Because
it's creepy.
I just
It's
hadn't
fucking creepy.
seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time during the same period where I was watching The Shining at a sleepover and everybody went to sleep.
Yeah.
And I was the only one watching it and I had to turn it off because it scared me too much.
Yeah, and that'd be a terrible one to watch, like at a buddy's house at a sleepover. When
As a teenager, like, I think I was like 14 or 15, and I just turned that off. I was like, no, I don't think I will, friend.
No clue.
You couldn't get through the shinning.
No. So, I mean, great. I think it's a very even if you don't like the movie, I think it's a very interesting movie, and I think it has had an effect that can be like visibly seen in horror. Like it left its mark in a way that many people would return to this and do this sort of same kind of idea later on. Many times. Jacob's Ladder is a legendary horror film that did this twist. The Sixth Sense, obviously.
Every single.
And then the others. Those are three pretty well-known, well-respected horror films that pulled the same twist.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of other movies that take notes from this. Not like actual like parts from the movie, but like some of the scenes where she's walking through the carnival by herself and there's something eerie, but you don't know if there's someone behind her or something. Like there's so many different aspects from other movies.
It's the haunting, dream-like quality that permeates even scenes that don't seem to be dreams.
Yeah. It's all unsettling.
And kind of and kind of weaving back and forth between mundane, regular, everyday stuff. And then it just slowly skirts into this weird supernatural territory.
Yeah.
And then swings back to and then it keeps doing that throughout the movie until it becomes more and more unsettling until you get to the end and then finally you know what's going on.
Yeah, I think honestly that's part of what kind of makes it a hard watch. Is like, and that's in a good way. It going back and forth and getting more and more unsettling, it definitely builds up like a frantic pace about it, you know what I mean? Like it's anxiety inducing almost.
And
in what I had called a slow movie. By the time you're in that last 15-20 minute stretch, it's quick, it's moving along. There's a lot of shit going on.
And interestingly, this movie has the same ending as Psycho. Meaning not the twist itself, but both movies end. Psycho, I think, was 2 years earlier than this, but both movies end with a car being dredged from the river.
Okay, cool.
So, which I think is just a really interesting, just like a weird horror trivia thing.
Neat. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that both movies end that way.
I didn't realize Psycho was before this.
Yeah, Psycho was 2 years before this. So 1960 on the nose.
Okay. I thought Psycho came after.
Oh, Psycho rules. That's another. I mean, we
it's
gotta
a
do Psycho.
Yeah.
We gotta do Psycho. So that's a fucking legendary movie.
Yeah.
But we'll do the shitty one from the 90s.
Sure.
That's the one.
I'm down.
That's the one I remember watching as a kid more than the original.
Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess we might as well. I think we've already been kind of final thoughting, but let's just jump to the final thoughts. I'm gonna Brady. What's any final thoughts you want to add on top of what you've already?
I like this movie. Like I've watched it once as a kid, but I didn't like it then. But rewatching, I was like, the first little bit I didn't like, but as soon as the twist hit, I was like, this is decent. Especially when she's in the car and going to the auto body shop and she keeps seeing the main ghost
in the rearview mirror, right?
Yeah, and then she drives off the thing, but she's also like 6 feet in the air and on struts.
I know.
And, like, how'd she get the car off?
Yeah. What?
I think the auto body guy's like filling up gas. Where'd she go?
Yeah.
Was she really even here?
That's the thing. Is like, I think that it's a movie that gets better when you rewatch it. For sure it is.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it again.
They're planting seeds throughout, and you're kind of just going, what was that about, or what the fuck was that, or whatever. And then once you get to the end, all of those things are kind of explained by this twist.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I like this movie a lot.
I think it's cool.
It's a cool movie, and also, like I said, you can see elements that a lot more modern horror movies probably grab from this. They grab from Psycho.
Sure.
They grab from other old movies.
Any what would you call it? Noteworthy horror film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From the past.
Yeah.
Or the kind of movies that, like, the people who are making movies in the 80s and 90s grew up watching movies in the 60s and so on, right?
Yeah. I wonder if they would, like, ever those talks of remaking this movie. I know it's probably been on a back burner or something.
I think it's one of those ones that it would be hard to recapture.
I wouldn't want it. I don't think.
Because I think it has a really I think Herk Harvey, who directed it, had a real unique flow to what he was doing here, and I don't know if anybody could do it in a way that matches up to what he did.
Yeah.
And so much of that you're trying to describe is the movie. So
he did so much with so little.
Yeah, and just like you said, it's flow, the way that it works. I think it only works exactly how it's put together.
That's right, and those are the movies that you should not remake.
No, if you missed something or altered something or didn't quite understand the setup of a scene and changed it or whatever, it would alter the movie on a deeper level. And it's not to say that it's the most intricate movie ever, but it's intricate enough.
And it's a cult movie.
Yeah.
It's such a cult movie,
Totally.
cult horror movie, that I don't know how much cachet even there is in remaking Carnival of Souls, because most people don't know what it is.
And I would bet that those that do would agree that this one you should probably
leave it
leave
alone. Yeah, leave it alone. Kyle, final thoughts?
Honestly, I think I've shared most of them at this point, but I would say to those that listen and watch as well, if you watch this one, do what Mike said to me and give it a shot. Don't turn it off. Don't get put off by its slowness. Finish the movie and then think about it. And then see what you think.
Yeah, and if
I enjoyed it. As a guy who went into it, I wanted to turn it off at about 35-40 minutes. I stuck it through, and I came out on the other end thinking, man, this is a damn good movie. I would give it a pretty darn okay rating. I would recommend it, and I 100% will watch it a second time. Yeah.
Cool. And I don't think it's a perfect movie. I think I gave it somewhere in the 4 to 4.5. I don't think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's one worth watching, especially for horror fans.
Right.
If you're like a horror fan,
yeah,
and if you're really into horror, which I don't know why you would even be listening to this if you're not.
You just like the sound of us, I guess.
Yeah. So that to me is my main thing.
Yeah.
The main reason I would say to watch it is because it's like how Psycho was the first movie to do this person isn't really who they think they are.
Like,
where's Fight Club?
Yeah.
So on. Like there's been a bunch of movies that have done that twist.
Friday the 13th being another one.
But Psycho was the first movie to do that twist. And Psycho is worth watching just for that reason.
I completely agree.
So that would be like why, because there's a bunch of movies that have done this twist after, and this is the first one, and I think it left this indelible impact. It's not a perfect movie, but it left an indelible impact on horror as a genre, and I think that's its value.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, honestly, and its Rotten Tomato rating 89%. Realistically, is probably high and influenced by people that rate it based on that. As far as the overall movie, I think you're right. Like more like an 80, 75, 80 overall would be pretty close.
Yeah.
But just looking at what it is in its totality, easily that 89% is well deserved.
Yeah. I think for its impact, mainly that's probably inspired by its impact.
For sure.
Comparing it to Psycho, Psycho has one shower scene. This movie, take as many baths as you want.
Free water.
Oh boy. Alright, well that takes us to the end of this episode. But before we wrap up, we have to bounce it to Mr. Kyle Mickleborough, our waterlogged ghoul.
That's me.
So, Mr. Ghoul,
the
man as you are credited in the film, what are we watching for next week?
We're going to keep it psychological, I think. This is one that I've been wanting to pick for a bit, so we're going to do The Endless.
That is a film I am completely unfamiliar with. I think I've heard of The Endless, but I literally know nothing about it.
This is another movie. It was just it was on Netflix and I watched it and was surprised and happy when I was.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about it other than the fact that yes, I think it is a horror film.
Me neither.
I've never seen it either.
Well, unfortunately, this podcast isn't endless, so
Dun dun dun.
Sorry.
So goodbye.
Yes. Yeah, the podcast is not endless, so we will see you in 7 days. And until then,
Keep your eyes open.
and we're out.